It's the Bond Report with your host, Norm Bond. Now podcasting live from Bangkok, Thailand. Guests, solutions, insights. Get connected now. Visit the website at www.normbond.com.
And welcome to the Bond Report podcast with your host, Norm Bond. I'm coming to you from Bangkok, Thailand. You can follow me on Twitter at Norm Bond, also on Instagram at Norm Bond, or visit the website www.normbondmarkets.com. This is the Bond Report podcast, where our focus is targeting people who are working to change the world and realizing that they can't do it alone. They need tools, they need connections, they need practical information, and they also need to kind of decode and demystify some of the things that go on in various areas, including marketing, digital technology, social media, SEO. But they don't have to be a geek. You don't have to be a geek to understand what we're doing here. I'm going to make everything very plain. I'm going to make it very understandable, very practical, so that you're able to become empowered and you're able to take the action that you need in order to change the world. On these episodes, I really look forward to sharing information that can be applied all over the globe, whether you're in the U.S., whether you're here in Southeast Asia, whether you're in the U.K., you could be in the Caribbean. I've seen a lot of the same issues that are impacting people no matter where we are, and whether you're a small, medium enterprise, you could be an entrepreneur, you could be someone who is a community activist. It really doesn't matter. All of us should have a purpose. You should have a goal. You should have something that you're working to bring into existence, that you're working to create. And if that fits you, if that sounds like what you're about, then you are in the right place. Okay, today's episode, I really want to look at some issues around this whole digital space. I'm going to talk to you about some things in social media, and also some things that we're looking at in terms of being able to increase your traffic if you are a local business. So a new study has come out that says 89% of marketers have problems with cross-channel marketing. And this new study has come out from Experian, and it says that data linkage is the biggest challenge to marketers. So what does that mean? That means that a lot of people who are in the business of promoting products and services and getting their products into the marketplace have not been able to connect data, information about the consumers who are the targets of these various products. As consumers seek to express their individuality, they expect brands to connect with them on a personal, one-to-one type of level. But what we're seeing with a lot of the marketing efforts is still a one-size-fits-all approach, which really results in a one-size-fitting-nobody approach. And it's similar to a situation I run into when I ask people, who's your target consumer, or who you trying to reach, who's your target audience? And sometimes I hear people, they'll say everybody, I want everybody as my audience. Well, when I hear people say everybody is their audience, that tells me that nobody is their audience, because they really haven't thought about who they are trying to reach. And I can guarantee you, if you're someone listening and you're thinking everybody is my target market, you need to go back to the drawing board and do some real analysis on who is buying your product, who is buying your service. And if you're just getting started, what would your ideal customer look like? And who would that profile fit as an individual? What age would they be? What type of education would they have? What type of music would they listen to? What type of income do they have? What type of household income do they have? Are they male or female? And get that so clear in your mind that you can see a person and you can target that person. It's not everybody, because you don't have the resources, you don't have the time to market to everyone. So you want to pinpoint that and then approach and build relationships with that target consumer in a very specific and individualized way. And that's what this report is talking about. Marketers are having a problem because what I just described to you, of course, means that that's a lot of data, and it's data coming from different sources that then has to be combined. It has to be coming in from multiple channels. It could be offline, it could be online, it could be mobile. And once you understand where the data is coming from, how do you even bring all of this stuff together? So if it's a challenge for marketers, you know it's a challenge for an entrepreneur or a corporate manager, a small business owner who is not spending all of their time trying to market. They're really trying to do that business. You're an author, a beauty salon owner. You could be a manager of a luxury resort. You're not spending all your time all day, every day in the marketing and digital space. And if 90% of marketers in that space are having these challenges, then what type of challenges are you having? There are three very important takeaways that I thought were interesting. One, data management and linkage strategy that will yield quality and actionable insights is key. That means that you got to have a strategy. Any of you who have taken any of my classes know that when I talk about social media, when I talk about marketing, I often say to people, you got to start with a strategy. Many people today, they jump on all types of social media platforms because they think that it's something they should be on. They have no strategy, and these digital strategies have to follow your overall marketing strategy, and this is for businesses of all sizes. Second, you want to use the insights that you gathered from your strategy to create messages. You know, we hear the phrase content is king. Well, content is king again revolves around a strategy for content. So what we want to see here is the insights that you've gathered, being able to create conversations. And of course, conversations means two-way communication. That's a dialogue. That is an engagement. It is you as a marketer, as a brand, communicating with a consumer, but also coming back to you is feedback from that consumer. You're getting information from that customer, from that client, and how are you then interacting with that? A lot of times I see people, they get information coming back into them. It could be comments on a blog post, it could be phone calls, it could be emails, it could be tweets that are going out. And some companies, large and small, miss these opportunities. So that's not engagement, and that's not making that customer feel valued. Third thing that came out of this report that is key is that you need to invest in the technology that will enable you to deliver the most relevant messages to that target customer at each stage of the customer's journey. You got to set up a budget for what? You got to set up a budget for the technology, okay? Because particularly for my small and medium enterprises, technology is a way of leveling the playing field. There was a time when you couldn't compete as a small or medium enterprises with Fortune 500, multi-billion-dollar, multinational corporations. Today, you can do that if you effectively utilize and leverage technology, which of course means that you have to invest in that technology and that you also have to have a strategy. Get that report. Again, it's from Experian. You can go to their website at Experian, EXPERIN.com, or hit me up at norm@normbond.com, and we'll make sure you get a copy of this report. I'll give you a link before the report.
You're logged in and locked on. It's the Bond Report with your host, Norm Bond.
Next thing I want to talk about, second issue we're going to talk about today is, of course, it's the NBA Finals, the 2015 NBA Finals, and something great that happened. Of course, we had a great game. Big shout out to Golden State, up 1-0 today, overtime, excellent game. Kyrie Irving got hurt. You know, we had to see what happened with that because obviously he's a key part for Cleveland. But also I want to talk about the social media impact and some of the observations that are going on there. History was made with Twitter and the NBA because this is the first time that a sports league has partnered with Twitter in launching a timeline. There's a timeline, and many of you saw it. You use the hashtag NBA Finals or hashtag NBA, you will get exposure to a unique timeline that has hash flags. That's right, hash flags, not tags, where you'll see the championship trophy, you'll see Cleveland's logo. This also shows how Twitter and the NBA are not just sitting on their hands, but actually engaging fans and coming up with ways to tap into that emotion. We know that NBA fans are some of the most vocal people on Twitter. You see that all during the playoffs and certainly during the finals. So the question I'd ask you is, what are you doing to ride this wave in your business? Are you live tweeting about the NBA finals? Are you engaging via contests? Have you sat down and really think about what you can do in order to tap into the emotion? And also, as we leave the NBA season after this series, you think other sports franchises and other sports leagues are going to look at this model that the NBA has set with Twitter and see how they can also apply a model that will engage their fans, their advertisers, their sponsors. You better believe they will. So don't get left behind on this. Start to get ahead of it and think about other major sports leagues that are going to come and how you can tap into that energy, that excitement that the brands will have available to them via the fan base.
Hit up the website at normbond.com. Spread the word.
Okay, and we're back. This is Norm Bond right here with you on Spreaker and bringing you the Bond Report. Again, I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to the report. What I want to do, of course, is help empower you. You can visit my website at www.normbondmarkets.com. You can find a ton of great information on social media, on SEO, on branding, on various tools for marketers, and they're designed for everyone from beginners to those who are more advanced. Another issue I want to talk about as we continue with this episode is you want to get your website on the first page of Google. How are you tapping in to the traffic, to the search? You know that there are over 720,000 searches per minute on Google. So you need to be able to plug in. And that means you need to have certain keywords. You need to be able to look at content. You need to look at social media. You need to have a mobile-friendly site. So how are you tapping in to get on the first page, get in the top of the search results? Because as you know, many people won't go off of the first page when they're doing a search. Many, in fact, not only won't they go off the first page, some people won't even scroll all the way down to the bottom of the first page. So it's very important, if you want to be found by people who are searching for your product or service, that you do what you have to do to make sure your site has optimized for search. Now, I've got a free tool also that I've made available via normbondmarkets.com. You can go to www.normbondmarkets.com and get a free SEO audit. Right there on the site, you just enter your website, follow the instructions, and you'll get a report that will show you what the results are of the audit. It'll also show you some things that you may need to change. If you can't understand, what needs to be changed, I'm here to help. It's a free report that will let you know the status of your site, and also even looking at some of the mobile capabilities. In April, Google came out with what was called Mobile Getting, where they started to penalize websites that are not mobile friendly. And if you think about that, it makes a lot of sense. And what it comes down to is the consumer. We know that increasingly people are using smartphones and people are using maps, the maps that come up on their phone. They're driving, they're on a train, they could be even walking, and they're trying to get places. So they go on these smartphones and pull up various locations. Now, if they're on their phone and the site that they pull up is not optimized for that phone, meaning that the text is too small, it's not scrolling the way that they needed to scroll. The point is that as you look at this information, it has to be set up so that it is mobile friendly, or the user experience is going to be bad. And then what that user is going to say or may say is it's Google's fault. So Google is saying, listen, what we're going to do is, for those web owners who are savvy enough and smart enough to incorporate mobile-friendly design into their website. We're going to move them ahead of those businesses that have chosen not to design their sites in a way that they are mobile-friendly. So you don't have to make your site mobile-friendly or make certain pages of your site mobile-friendly. That would be more accurate. Key landing pages, if you don't have to, but that means that those businesses that are making those sites mobile-friendly are going to leap above you in terms of search results. All of this information will be available to you in the audit that you can get, the SEO audit tool. Visit normbondmarkets.com, find out the status of your site, and do something about it, because with the volume of searches that are going on, you have to be able to leverage this in order to be successful, to be found, to grow your business today. You need to also localize your content strategy. I'm going to be presenting here in Bangkok on Thursday, June 18th from 2 to 5 p.m. It's going to be at the American Bar and Grill in Bangkok. You can go to normbondmarkets.com to find information about that, or you can call 081-420-1946. That's here in Thailand, of course. +66 is the international code for Bangkok. So I'm looking forward to connecting with businesses on Thursday, June 18th from 2 to 5 p.m. at the American Bar and Grill here in Bangkok, Thailand. And we're going to look at how to get your website on that first page of Google. We're going to give you some real practical tips, strategies, techniques that you can use. Myself and Tom Akins, who's been here in Bangkok for 17 years, a business owner, entrepreneur, really looking at really giving you practical information. And anyone who's attended the seminars knows the tremendous value they got for the 1,750 baht that was required, really a nominal fee. But then they left with so much information, do-it-yourself information, not only in terms of SEO, but also the social media and how they converge and how you can use both of those. Get your business to the next level, engage your customers, use content strategies, and really get excellent return on investment. So I look forward to seeing you there if you're here in Thailand. If not, I'm also working on putting together a webinar where you'll be able to get a good deal of the information on the social media aspects of this via the webinar. So let's recap as we get ready to close out this issue of the Bond Report. Again, I want to thank you for taking the time to listen in. Please share the word with your friends and those who you think would appreciate the information. But to recap and apply, one, we talked about the powerful report that's come out that looked at the fact that 89% of marketers are having problems with cross-channel marketing. Experian.com is where you can find that information, experian.com. We also talked about the history-making move of the NBA along with Twitter, where they have partnered and created, through a joint effort, a NBA timeline for the finals. And finally, we talked about SEO and the importance of getting your website on the first page of Google. We talked about the SEO audit tool that you can find on normbondmarkets.com. So again, we want you to apply this information. If you have questions about anything that you've heard, of course, you can connect with me on Twitter. I'm at NormBond. Email norm@normbond.com. And each episode of the Bond Report podcast focuses on people working to change the world and realizing they can't do it alone. They need tools. They need to connect and be able to use social media. They need to use SEO, marketing. And so, we're here to help. I'm here to help. I've got a great network in place, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you again on the next episode of the Bond Report. Thank you for listening. www.normbond.com. And we are out of here. Peace.
Follow Norm Bond on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Google+, and wherever social media is found.